Hello, hello, hello. This is attorney Mike Gravelin coming to you from Chicago. As usual, today we've got two good clips. Thank you. Who sent this? Eve and Lauren the pet lover, hooking me up again. Both are excellent clips. They're sort of interesting. The first one is Judge Fink. I don't know if she's judge or magistrate. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to call her judge for my purposes. In fact, I think she's had enough on here that she qualifies for a playlist. I really need to go through there and make a playlist for her. But she gets a sovereign citizen in her courtroom, and it's pretty cool. She shuts it down and then shows him the light in a display of pure judicial awesome. We kick it off there, and then we've got an interesting hearing over with Judge Marable. And our good buddy Paul Scott's the defense attorney. Oh, it's fun times. Let's get her going.
Northfield Township versus Dominic Rubino, 223-0223. Good morning. Could you state your name, please? Can you hear me, Mr. Rubino? I don't think he can hear me. Mr. Rubino, can you hear me? Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Could you state your name, please?
Dominic William Rubino.
Okay, Mr. Rubino, you're here today on a misdemeanor charge of driving when your license is suspended. Did you get a notice of the advice of rights from the court?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions about your basic rights when you're charged with a crime?
Stop it. In this country, we had to have a license to drive. I thought we had freedom of travel in this country.
Okay, so since that was garbled, it's just because of his audio. He said, I thought in this country we had freedom to travel and we didn't need a license. Blah, blah, blah. Judge Fink handles it.
Okay, that's two different things. You have freedom to travel. You have freedom to travel in the yep, meaning you can go where you'd like. But the government wants people to have a license.
I understand they want that, but not a law.
Well, it is a law. It is no. Okay. I'm not going to do this with you.
Trying to figure it out. I was just trying to figure it out.
You're not trying to figure it out. You're trying to challenge me, and I'm not going to do that.
I did not mean it like that. I'm sorry.
Okay. So whether you think that the government should require us to have driver's licenses or not, there is a requirement that to drive legally in the state of Michigan, you have a proper and valid driver's license.
Okay. Thank you for clearing it up. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Okay. So is that something that you...
I've never seen that before. I mean, obviously he's just dabbling in the soft sit nonsense, but what she said was good. It was on point. And he accepted it to his credit, and his life will proceed better going forward.
You are going to do?
Yes, I really need my license.
Yeah. Okay. So right now it says your license is revoked.
Okay.
So let's see. Do you think that's from having too many points on your license?
Yeah, probably.
It's a strong possibility.
And so I think that then you have to contact the Secretary of...
Okay.
I'm just taking a look at your driving record.
Yes, ma'am.
I think you need to contact the Secretary of State and get another assessment.
Okay. Do you think they could just license to go to work, or?
Yeah, maybe you can get a restricted license again.
Okay.
See, this is so subtle. She first tells him, knock that nonsense off. When he does, she switches fields to very subtly, but very empathetic and very helpful. And she just doesn't bad an eye. That's what she does going forward. It's very cool to see.
Okay, I'm not certain about that because I don't work for the Secretary of State, and so
Right.
and sometimes when I'm reading a person's driving record, I'm not it's written in a weird Secretary
No, I completely understand.
Sometimes I feel like I get it and sometimes I don't. So what I think is happening is that you had too many points.
Okay.
And also you had a controlled substance suspension back in 19. And I
did,
think the combination of those two things then meant that you needed to talk to the Secretary of State about whether you were going to be able to maintain a driver's license or not.
Okay.
And that's now where you are again.
Correct.
In October of 2020, it says that for violating your driver's license restrictions, there was an examination and the effect was a revocation effective October 7th of 2020, and that you have to have a new a re-examination. I don't know. I would assume that you're eligible for that now, but I don't see that on here.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so let's do this. In order to avoid any further driver's license penalties, you should not plead guilty to this charge.
Okay.
Right? Because as soon as you plead guilty, you've basically admitted that you have been driving.
I understand.
Which can then affect whether or not the Secretary of State gives you your license back.
Okay.
Now, you had two other things going on this day when you got the ticket in July. One is that you had an expired license plate, and the other was three things. No proof of insurance, no plate, and speeding ticket. You allowed all three of those things to default, which meant that they went on your driving record. So I'm going to undo those defaults. Okay.
Okay.
So that again, we're trying to avoid letting the Secretary of State know that you in fact were driving. Okay. So
Thank you very much.
And get your license cleared up if you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Without these things being on there. Now they're not going to go away. They're still going to have to be handled, but we'll just move everything into the future.
Yes, ma'am.
That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so you can't sit on the Secretary of State thing. You gotta get moving on that because that takes time.
Would I be able to do it like today after work?
Yeah, I'm sure you can give them a call today.
Okay.
So I'm gonna reverse the defaults on all three of those other tickets, which is 22N000456 B, C, and D, and have them be removed from your driving record. And we'll set these for a formal hearing.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Do we set it on the same day as the pretrial for him on October 20th?
She really is being nice, but if she turned this guy around, it's worth it. I see Simpson and Judge Middleton do the same sort of thing. They just want these people to get licensed. They'll put things off and then reduce everything if they get their license and they get all their stuff squared away.
This is a Northport Township. Okay. So we're going to schedule 3 formal hearings, one on each of those civil infractions, and your pre-trial on the misdemeanor, all together on October 24th.
On October 24th? I'm going to write it down. Sorry. October 24th.
Yeah. So the formal hearings, which is for the 3 ticket parts, will be at 11 a.m.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
and then the misdemeanor pretrial will be at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
It's all going to be over Zoom. It's all going to be with Judge Freshour. And
Ends up with
by
Judge
then,
Freshour.
hopefully that's, 2 months from now.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have your license back, hopefully you will have some idea of when that's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the last thing then that I need to talk to you about is whether you would like to have a court-appointed lawyer help you.
Yes, please.
Hang on. Okay, hang on 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's an encouraging sign. He actually wants an attorney.
Okay. We're going to move everything to November 14th. That gives you another couple of weeks, okay?
Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it.
The arraignment will be one. The formal hearing will be 2 feet.
Okay.
No.
All right.
November.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Changing all those dates. Okay. So we're going to schedule, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. Miss Bird there is ready to help us in a second, but since I'm already talking about this other stuff, I'm going to go ahead and finish that.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
on the 3 tickets, the formal hearings will be November 14th at 2 p.m.
November 14th at 2 p.m.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And on the misdemeanor, the pretrial will be November 14th at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay.
Okay. Ms. Bird, go ahead when you're ready.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Bridget Bird, PD Fellow, appearing before this honorable court, requesting permission to practice pursuant to Michigan Court Rule 8.120 under the supervision of First Assistant Public Defender Kalina Anderson. Thank you, Your Honor. Bridget Bird appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Rubino. Your Honor, we'd like to stand mute to these charges. We'd also like to request a personal recognizance bond. And then we also have the dates that you stated for pretrial and for hearings.
All right. So, Mr. Rubino, a plea of mute is the same as not guilty for purposes of processing your case.
Okay.
And a personal bond means you don't have to pay any money to remain out of custody.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm giving you a personal bond. I'm entering a not guilty plea on your behalf, and I've already given you all of those court dates. And we have your email to make sure that you get the notice to appear by Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your job is to do whatever it takes to get your license, whether or not you think you should have to have one. Set that aside, move that to a different place in your brain.
Yep.
Where the government requires us to do things that we don't want to.
Gotta do it.
And it's cheaper to have a driver's license than not one.
Yeah, I agree.
So if that's how you have to look at it, do it that way. So your job is to do whatever you can to get that license. And even if you're not going to have it by November 14th, you want to be able to appear on that day saying, I have a hearing with the Secretary of State on such and such a day.
Okay.
And
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Bird's office will be appearing with you to make sure that if you don't have your license yet, things are to the greatest extent possible. These things are hurting you while you're still trying to get your license.
Correct. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're
Truly.
welcome. You're all set. Have a great day.
You as well, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, or the dogs get it.
Well, you guys surprised me. I was reading the chat that whole time, and there's a lot of sentiment that Judge Fink was too nice there, which might be true. But for me, it's such a win, having been doing this channel and seeing all these sovereign citizens that never do anything. She just smacks him down. He accepts it. And then the rest of the time was like, hey, how do we like improve the situation for you? You know, you got to go clear this stuff up to Secretary of State. We'll put everything off. I'll put you in front of Freshour. But if I guarantee you, if he has a lot of progress towards his license, he's not going to have a lot of consequences here. They want him back on board and playing by the rules. That's basically it. But But you guys are cynical today, which is good. All right, so now we're gonna go see our good buddy Judge Marable. Don't worry about it. Hurricane Katrina is there, and she's grousing at him. They really get, among other things, they really do get snippy with each other. She can't hear the defendant, and he's giving it to her too. That's a side issue. The more interesting thing is the way this hearing plays out, and of course Paul Scott's good as usual.
Okay, let's go to people of the state of Michigan versus Brianna. This example.
No.
Oh boy. Brianna Naquesha Michael Nelson. Case number 21T A196FY. Count 1. Home invasion in the first degree is count 1. Count 2 is felony firearm. Count 3 is assault with a dangerous weapon. Count 4 is felony firearm. Let me see what's going on here. Is this your, let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge, understanding, and belief.
Yes.
Speak up.
Yes.
What is your name?
Brianna Naquesha Michael Nelson.
Spell it.
BRIONA. Naquesha. Michael. KOLB.
Okay, how old are you, ma'am?
31.
Okay, this is your client, Mr. Scott.
That's correct, Your Honor. I know Rob Wheaton met with her earlier today, went over the charges, her rights, maximum possible penalties. We'd waive any formal reading, ask the court to enter not guilty pleas, set the appropriate dates, and appoint counsel on her behalf as she's self-employed, making a nominal income. Thank you.
Okay. There's no bench warrants or anything, so that's a good thing. Okay, ma'am, is that true that your lawyer went through the charges, the penalties, and your rights?
Not really.
And do you feel you understand the charges, the penalties, and the rights?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go over the charges, penalties, and rights?
Oh, please, no.
Are you picking her up?
Probably just barely.
You got to speak up, so you got to keep your voice up.
Okay, no.
Okay. All right, I'm going to find that she's knowingly voluntarily waived the reading of the penalties and rights. I will appoint a lawyer to represent her. Your probable cause conference is going to be held August 18th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going to be in front of Judge McCabe. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go through your bond conditions. You have to appear for any examination, arraignment, trial, sentencing, or any time and place is directed by the courts. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You have to abide by any judgment entered in the case and surrender to serve any sentence imposed. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Can't leave Michigan without court permission. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You're not to commit any crimes while you're released. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You're not to use any alcohol, marijuana, or legal or controlled substances. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's going to be drug testing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Whoa. How did you know to come here today? How did you know to come here today? Was this in Moor? Was this in Moor?
It should have been. She's a walk-in judge.
Okay, so we all know Judge Marable's kind of a loose cannon, and you can see Paul going, okay, what's going on here? Everything's rolling along, and all of a sudden it just goes sideways.
I'm not sure if it was.
There's no warrant in the file?
No, I don't think. I want to know if this was in Moor.
I applied for a job tonight. That's why I came. They told me I had.
I'm not hearing her now.
Thank you, Martin.
She's going to have to post mine. Mr. Scott.
You didn't wait for my stellar advocacy, Your Honor.
Yeah, because I read what it said. Let me finish the bond condition. Oh man, this is a reason.
Paul does a nice job here. He's a little, I don't think it's contemptuous at all. He's pointing out, hey, I'm here ostensibly representing this woman. Why don't you ask me what our position is before you start handing out judgments?
That file should show that there was a warrant issued in July. Came in as a complaint warrant, maybe she was never seen.
Well, let me see when the judge signed it. Let's see.
Because I'm not showing that it went to bench warrant, but it is currently in warrant. So they're not canceling them until after they've been seen by the.
No, I understand it, but I want to see when it was signed. I signed it July 22nd.
The last thing you said, Judge, was that you had signed the warrant on July 22nd.
I signed the warrant late July 22nd. So she probably didn't know. Let me just double check that date. Make me sure it wasn't July of last year. No, July of last year. Have a seat in the jury box. See where this door is open down here? Sit in the second chair in front of the microphone.
Ken, Judge, I haven't even advocated, but.
Well, I'm going to let you advocate, but this could be a rematch.
After you've predetermined the outcome.
Mr. Scott, listen, when it says.
Judge, what do we need attorneys for if you've already predetermined the outcome?
That is slightly edgy, but that is a reasonable argument if you ask me. He's saying, look, I'm here. You have to do this. You're not just there to suck up to the judge. You have a party to represent and you have some things. And he's saying, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, in a reasonable way. He's arguing on behalf of his client, saying, look, do we get to say something before we proceed with this thing? That's reasonable. He kind of does this and ends up being effective. He does say what he needs to on behalf of his client. It is taken into account. And he does throw a little shot like, hey, we're being railroaded. We're not being, I'm not getting an opportunity here, but he does get his opportunity.
Hang on just a second. Just be on standby.
Yeah,
who was it who said stand back and stand by? Something like that?
I don't know, Judge. We need to keep moving, though. We've got people waiting.
I don't know if you heard that, but that was Katrina. I don't know, Judge, but we need to keep moving.
Oh, sweet Jesus. What?
Okay, Mr. Scott, okay, the allegation is that your client allegedly pistol whipped the victim. The magazine is ejected from the gun during the pistol whipping, and one shot is fired. Officers saw a spent 9mm shell casing on the floor in the hallway. The witness in the complex said she heard the loud bang, went to investigate, saw a hole in the apartment through the kitchen wall. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Listen, ma'am, let me just tell you where I'm at, okay? I'm going to give you your bond conditions, but look, this is really serious.
Judge, I'm not sure we need appointed counsel at arraignments if you're going to berate my clients.
I'm not berating her, but I know that she expected to walk in here and walk out the same door, okay? I know that. But it's been a year, okay? And I don't know why she hasn't been down here. So
she told
what
you.
Do you want to tell me?
She told you, and I'll morph this into my futile comments here in advocacy of my client. She told you she had no idea she had a warrant. She applied for a job and was told she had a warrant and walked in. Ma'am, you should be commended for what you did in spite of the position Judge Marable's taking. Almost no one in your position would walk in to take care of their business. You handled it correctly. And I'm sure the next judge will tell you this. You're not going to hear it today.
I'm not.
That was extremely well played. It's a simple argument, but he delivers it the right way, and he sort of puts the judge back on his heels with the whole procedural bit leading into it. That's smoother than it looked.
Disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. I am not disagreeing with that.
So again, she walked in. She's clearly not a flight risk. She's trying to make something of her life. These charges, what you read, and I don't want to go into a long dissertation about probable cause statements. The court knows my opinion of those. I heard nothing in it about a hole being put in a wall by my client, about this spent cartridge or excuse me, spent casing being because of my client. The fact that this happened a year and a half ago, I think the odds are certainly lesser that we're going to be having witnesses at 8 a.m. I think to lock this woman up only sets a precedent that you should not walk in and lift these warrants. All that said, I'd ask you to set a reasonable bond.
Okay. She's charged with home invasion and
So he gets his argument in. It's a good argument under the circumstances. I'm not buying all of it. Yeah, he's saying, well, they can't make their case. He doesn't know that. But those are the sorts of things you have to say as a defense attorney. You're advocating for that person. I don't know if that hole in the wall is from my client. Yeah, I'm guessing it was. We had a pistol whipping. I mean, that's what they're alleging. I'm guessing she discharged a firearm. Hell, I don't know. It's weak though on this at this moment. But it's what you have to say, so you say it.
First degree, felony, firearm, assault with a dangerous weapon, another felony firearm. The allegation is that she pistol whipped the victim, fired the gun in the house, broke into the house, fired the gun in the house, it's a bullet hole in the wall that a neighbor found, and I don't understand why there wasn't any more pursuit than this. I don't get it. You're not to possess a firearm or other dangerous weapon or ammunition. You understand? You are not to assault, harass, intimidate, beat, molest, wound, or threaten Keyshawn Renee James. You understand that? You're not to have contact with or cause a third party to have contact with Keyshawn Renee James. You understand? Do not go to Keyshawn Renee James's home or workplace. You understand that?
Judge, she has got to speak up.
She said yes every time.
But I cannot get her on the record, sir.
Ma'am, you got to speak up. I know she's probably, being a
I hate to agree with Katrina, but if you're trying to do a record, yeah, you got to get it from the witness. You can't just have the judge after the fact say, oh, yeah, she said this. That's not how a record works, but okay.
She's a little emotional at this point, and you can't hear her. But
I understand that she's emotional, too, but she's sitting right in front of a microphone and it's not getting her.
Okay, no, she just can't pick it up because it's not loud enough. That's all. Don't worry about it. You're going to be on GPS tether if you're released. Okay. It is to your credit that you came down here, okay? All right? So I'm not setting it at $165,000, all right? But on the other hand, I have to have you, if you're getting out, you're going to be out and about, you got to be on tether. We got to know what's going on with you. This is serious. This is extremely serious, okay? You can get a bail bondsman to help bond you out. They charge you 10% of whatever this bond is that I'm going to set, okay? You're shaking your head. Okay, I'm going to set a cash or surety bond, $15,000. You need $1,500. Don't make a monkey out of me, because I could have set it way higher than that. You understand? So you stay away from this woman. You stay away from this. You don't live in the same complex, correct? Stay the heck away from there. Do you understand? She said, yes, she's going to stay away from there. She's not speaking up loudly. She said she didn't live in a complex. I'm just clarifying the record.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
She's emotional and.
I get it. I get it. I understand.
But I had to let you know.
No, I get it. I get it. Anybody you want us to call? What's his name? Wait, what is it?
Yeah, we'll say him.
What's the phone number? Get him on the phone.
What is the name again?
Mr. Nelson.
Poor dad. He gets the call here.
We gotta let the deputies take her because they have to transport and I can get the paperwork back there.
It's 327. We're good.
Please leave your message.
Oh, my God.
812.
Try it again. Is this Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
This is Judge Marable at 67th District Court. How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm fine. Your daughter Brianna is here. I just arraigned her on a 4-count felony case involving some incident last year. Okay.
Okay.
Home invasion, felony firearm, assault with a dangerous weapon, and felony firearm. I've set her bond at $15,000, cash or surety. Usually, if you go through a bondsman, they'll charge you 10% of that. You understand?
Okay. Uh-huh.
So I just remanding her. She's right here in my courtroom. Will you say something to your dad, please?
Yeah.
Hey, I hear you.
Okay. So you know, if to bond her out, you have to check with the jail in a couple of hours, right?
Okay, I'm right outside, so I can bond out now.
You got $15,000 on you?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I have to run to the house. I got the 1,500, 10%.
Well, you talk to your bondsman and go bond her out at the jail, okay?
Okay.
Understand now, if she doesn't go to court, if she skips out on her appearances and doesn't go to court, you will owe $15,000.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Okay, is that it, Mr. Scott? Can't hear you. You're muted.
I do believe I'll yield to Mr. Sipple, who appears to be chomping at the bit there.
He's just kind of chilling in that chair.
Okay.
Huh?
All good.
He's all good. All right.
Godspeed.
Well, there you have it. I thought that one was interesting. Paul Scott really got after him for not seeking his position or the defense position before he started making rulings. That's understandable. Although I think the judge did take into account, it clearly had a big impact. He's looking at it. He discovers that she's in warrant status and that the charges are pretty serious. And he was about to ring her up. And then Paul mitigated that somewhat, and he did take it in there. I think he did about the right thing. He set bond. It is serious. He put a tether on her. I think he comes to the right conclusions. But it's always a rambling mess getting there. And watching him chirp back and forth with Katrina is always fun too. She gets on my nerves, but I have to agree with her this time. I mean, come on, make the defendant talking to the microphone. You couldn't hear her. There's no excuse for it. I don't know. That sort of bothered me. Thank you, Vanguard. All right. So there we have it. Just a little Saturday afternoon hangout. Thanks for coming out. I will see you all soon.